Hello YouTube people, welcome to my first video of 2025. In this video I will show you a diving style watch from OLTO-8 called Tide X. I'll show you how this watch looks like on my 16.5 centimeter wrist or 6.5 inches. This watch will soon be available on a Kickstarter. And if you wanna know when it starts, how much it's gonna cost and everything, you can subscribe to the news from OLTO-8, link in the description. And as a bonus, OLTO-8 is gonna give you a 25% discount. This video is sponsored by OLTO-8. Previously they sent me this watch, which is called The King. It's a very interesting watch. I highly recommend checking it out. I will put a link in the description if you wanna check this watch out. It's a very interesting watch. And today we're gonna take a look at the Tide X model. So OLTO-8, thank you very much for sponsoring this small YouTube channel. Let's begin with the specifications, and as always I did all the measurements myself. So this watch, off the strap, just the case alone, weighs 68 grams. Diameter of the bezel is 41.6 millimeters. Lug to lug distance is 49.1 millimeter. Lug width is 22 millimeters. Thickness of this watch is 12.8 millimeters, and the size of the crown is 7.9. On the top we have sapphire crystal with slightly bluish anti-reflective coating, which is flat, and on the back we have mineral crystal. This watch has a water resistance rating of 200 meters together with a screw down crown and screw down case back. This watch has high beat movement, 28,800 beats per hour. It has 42 hours of power reserve, and according to OLTO-8 this is self-developed movement. This watch has stainless steel case, and the bezel has aluminum insert. That's how this watch looks like from top down view on my 16.5 centimeter wrist or 6.5 inches. And speaking about comfort, well, I can definitely tell that this is not some kind of a dress watch on my wrist, but as far as diver style watches go, this is actually a pretty comfortable watch, even with its pretty long 49.1 millimeter lug to lug distance. So it's pretty long watch, but somehow I just don't feel that. This watch sits flat on my wrist, it doesn't feel top heavy. I don't know, it just feels good, and I believe 22 millimeter lug width actually helps with the stability to secure this watch in one place. So in terms of a comfort, I can't really complain. This watch actually feels good on my wrist. And what helps with the comfort quite a lot, I believe, is the original strap. This is silicone strap, but it feels more like a rubber in a good way, because it's slippery. It does not stick to the skin, which is good. So which means this strap ain't gonna irritate your skin. It starts at 22 millimeters and quickly tapers down to 20 millimeters. And as you can see, it has plenty of holes, so it's very breathable. It's good in water activities or on hot summer days. It's very flexible. It's very comfortable strap. Very good strap. And one very important thing for me is that these holes are very close to each other. Usually for my small wrist I need to puncture extra holes just to find the perfect fitment, which I don't need to do with this strap, which is great. So the strap on this watch is wonderful, and the main reason why I will not show you a strap show on this watch, how this watch would look like on custom straps, because I just don't have any nice 22 millimeter straps. And I do believe that this watch, black case, looks really good on this strap. So this actually looks good and feels good. And by the way, this is how the buckle looks like. It has this very nice OLTO-8 engraving, which is a little bit off center, which I like. This is like interesting attention to detail. That's how keepers look like. It's very good strap. All I can tell you, this is very good strap, and I wouldn't feel any reason to swap it over to anything else. The case on this watch has black coating, well, obviously, but what kind of black coating it has, sorry, I don't have information about that. Well, I can tell you that this black coating just feels nice to touch. It has very nice smooth texture. It gets a little bit of fingerprints, but not too much. They are like easy to clean off. Like you can see fingerprints on this side, but I swipe my finger over and I don't know, it just feels nice to touch this thing. It's just silk smooth coating of some kind. And I don't see any imperfections. Speaking about black coating, everything is even. I don't see any scratches, nothing, even though I have worn this watch for a couple of days already. It feels fine and it looks good. It looks really good. I really like this black coating. And speaking about the case finishing, I feel no sharp edges, even lug ends don't feel sharp. It's a nice thing to touch. It looks nice, it's nicely finished. So yeah, no complaints there. That's how the case back looks like. Let me clean off. I'll show you movement a little bit later. Right now I just want to show you the case a little bit. All stainless steel, Sapphire, OLTO-8, 200 meters water resistance. So yeah, that's how it looks like. The bezel on this watch is a 120 click bezel and has very good stiffness. It feels solid. There is no free play whatsoever. It sounds good. It feels good. It's nice. It's nice. And the alignment, as you can see, is spot on. So yeah, nothing bad I could tell about the bezel. Its edges are not sharp. They feel fine, yet it has plenty of grip and it stays in one place. I cannot knock it off the place. So the bezel on this watch is actually very good. Now let's take a better look at the dial and I will tell you how to read the time on this watch. So let's unscrew the crown. Very nice crown, by the way, feels great. Easy to unscrew. And I will tell you about the movement a little bit later. First of all, let me show you how to read the time on this watch. So as I advance in time, as you can probably tell, this little hand with white end is actually a minute hand. And minute hand behaves normally. It goes full 360 and you read it as usual minute hand. What's different is hour hand, because you read hours only on the top. And right now, as you can see, it is pointing directly at 8 hours. And let's advance in time. And right now, as example, is 8 hours 15 minutes. 8 hours 30 minutes, 8 hours 45 minutes, and right now 9 hours and 1 minute. So what happens at 12 is that both ends point out at 12. So right now it's exactly 12 hours 15 minutes. So I hope it's fairly easy to understand. It's kind of, initially looks intriguing, but it's actually, once you play with this thing a little bit, it's self-explanatory, I could say. It takes a little bit of time getting used to telling the time on this watch. It's not super easy, but it's a compromise because this is a conversation piece, you can say. This watch is definitely a conversation starter. I believe everyone is gonna be very interested in this watch. Even I usually like quartz watches a lot better, but when I can actually see the movement spinning inside, all those little parts turning, I'm actually intrigued. This is interesting. That captivates my eyes. This is something that I like looking at. It's like a toy for my eyes. It's just very interesting. And what I like very much is that, the strap is black, the case is black, the crown is black, the bezel is black, but also the movement itself is black. Just pay attention. Even look from the case back, you can see the movement itself is actually black. That's cool. How many movements have you seen that are full black like this one? That's pretty special, That's pretty special. And overall, looking at this thing, how crazy and different it looks like, how well it is built and everything, I think given price of this watch is very reasonable. I usually don't talk about prices on sponsored watches, but I think this one for the given price is rather crazy watch, you know. What you get for the money is quite a lot of uniqueness and craziness, quite something to look at, you know. So speaking about the movement, as OLTO-8 states, this is a self-developed movement, so let me show you a little bit about it. As I unscrew the crown, so first position, I can actually wind the watch like that, and I can also see the spring winding up inside when I wind the watch, which is nice. I like seeing things. And this is also hackable movement. So if you take a look at this little running hand, this is a second hand. So let's pull out the crown. So it completely stops the movement. Let's push the crown back in and starts it once again. So it's hackable movement, which is great. Also, what I found out that they don't tell you in the specifications, according to what I can observe, it looks like this rotor winds this movement in both directions, because once I turn this watch this way, as you can see, rotor struggles a little bit, which shows that it is actually trying to wind the watch in this way. And once the rotor actually spins, I can clearly hear how the watch is being wound. You know, I hear that sound. But on the other way, it's exactly the same story. Also, rotor seems to struggle a little bit because it is trying to wound the watch. And once it actually turns, I can actually hear how the watch movement is being wound. So I can observe that this rotor winds this watch in both directions. And I cannot provoke it to freely spin, you know. It doesn't freely spin as the movements who wind the watch only one direction. So that's great. That I really like, and that I really respect. That you know, that's the main thing what I like about, for example, NH35 movements, that the rotor winds the watch in both directions. So this one does that as well, which is great. I like that a lot. It's efficient, and what I like the most about that is that the rotor ain't gonna spin freely inside, rattling and making all kinds of strange noises, because this rotor cannot spin freely inside because it winds the movement in both directions. And oh boy, just take a look at this thing. Doesn't it look nice? I mean, that does look really nice. I mean, overall, just take a general look like that. Well, that looks cool. That's a nice thing to have. That looks nice. You know, you could even... No, just kidding. It actually looks really interesting. As you can see, it's quite skeletonized, heavily skeletonized, and nicely done. Really nicely done, because it's black inside, and I don't see rough finishing or anything. It's nice. And by the way, if you wanna adjust the movement, it does have such possibility. As you can see right there, this movement is adjustable. And let me turn off the lights and show you the lume on this watch. So the lume on this watch is all blue and all even, and that's how it looks like. And before I move to the end of the video, I wanna play a little bit more with the light. I wanna give you some different perspectives in light, how this watch looks like, because this is that type of watch that's just, you know, just provoking to play a little bit more with this watch. That I like about this watch. It's very playful, and especially like the view from the back like this, that, you know, first of all, the strap is skeletonized on a skeletonized watch. I think it fits very well. And what I like the most is that the movement is black. I mean, how many watches do you know that have black movement? That looks rather special, you know? It looks rather cool. It's like a little bit stealthy, a little bit of Darth Vader looking thing from behind. I really like it. I think it looks rather special. A black movement, and I like the skeletonized rotor as well. It's a nice thing to look at like that. It's a cool thing to have. Now from the front, what's interesting, if I turn the lights completely off, you can see it has this kind of a three-dimensional look under the sapphire crystal. It's like some kind of three-dimensional structure. Also looks very interesting, you know, catches an eye. And if we play with the light a little bit more, yeah, so you know that's what's special about this watch. It just provokes me to play a little bit more, play with the light, see how it looks like, and it's just, you know, it's yeah, this watch is fun. This is a lot of fun. This watch is a lot of fun. So what can I tell you for the ending of this video? Well, this watch definitely goes a little bit outside of the box and breaks several boundaries, but that's what OLTO-8 does with all of their watches. Like the previous watch they sent me also is a little bit crazy, a little bit special, you know, breaks several boundaries, and that's the brand image. That's what they do. That's, you know, they make a little bit crazy watches. That's the brand, and you know, you have to respect that. They are not afraid of breaking some boundaries and boxes in order to create something different, you know, and that's respectable in my opinion. So yeah, that's the end of the video. That's all I got to show you today. Thank you for watching, and thank you OLTO-8 for sponsoring me. Have a beautiful day. Goodbye.